Hey guys, Brad here from Scooter Street. A little while ago we did a video on the first 5 things to check if your scooter won't start. Now in that list was a loss of spark. Now from our experience over the years, this generally tends to be one of the most common culprits for why a scooter will run and then all of a sudden stop and won't start or run. So in that video, we kind of touched on, obviously showing you how to diagnose the issue, but didn't really go very in depth on how you go about rectifying this. So today in this video, we're going to go back through really quickly and touch on diagnosing the issue. Again, have a Yamaha jog behind me, and we're going to do a quick spark test on this scooter. Now, once that we've confirmed or gone through the process of confirming that you've lost spark, we're then going to go through the process of how you actually rectify that issue, diagnose where the issue is in the electrical system, because there are actually a few very simple and honestly probably the most common culprits for why you've lost spark, which are very simple and easy to replace and quite inexpensive as well. So I'm going to show you how to go through the process of working out where the issue is, show you those cheap and honestly probably the most common items that fail, causing a loss of spark, and then also to show you where you need to get to before you're going to kind of have to take the bike to a shop. Now, hopefully the solution to your issue on your bike, if you're watching this, is one of these cheaper items, but if it's not, I'm going to show you how to essentially eliminate those from the potential causes, so that at least if you do get to a point that you can't fix it and you have to take it to a shop, you've eliminated any of those silly little cheap items that might have been the cause first. So if you do have to take it into a shop, you know that you actually need to, and it's not something that you could have just done at home. All right, to show you how to do this, we have our shop Yamaha jog here. It kind of doesn't really matter what model of 2 or, to be honest, even 4-stroke scooter that you've got. It's just going to change maybe how you have to access the spark plug. So on this particular model, a lot of Minarelli engines, which the Yamahas have, as well as most of your Honda vertical type engines, even Yamaha vertical, like a Yamaha Zuma, a lot of Honda engines that you might find in like a Kimco or something like that. You'll normally have to access the spark plug from under the seat. If it's a standard horizontal engine, something more like a Piaggio, normally you can access it from the spark plug cover just behind where your heels would be if you're sitting on the seat. But on this one, it's seat bucket out. So if we just come inside here, what we're essentially looking for, obviously you have the cylinder here, you have the air cooling shroud. I've pre-loosened some of this, so it'll be a bit easier than it probably will be for you. But that component there, so have our coil up under here, you probably can't see it, have our HT lead, and then have our spark plug cap just here. Then I've also pre-loosened this down here, a little bit harder to access on these jogs. Spark plug. So what we're going to do to, just in the most basic way possible, test the spark, going to literally just plug spark plug into the cap. Now, although this is rubber and ceramic, I'm still going to use a set of pliers because if this does shock you, it's quite high voltage and you'll know about it. It doesn't feel real good. So basically what we need to do is find an earthed tag, normally somewhere on the frame or some component of the engine, which will be earthed. You see I have our earth coming here, the engine casing. And we're just basically going to turn the ignition over while holding the spark plug tip up towards one of the earthed metallic components inside here. And we should see a nice cracking spark, sort of at least 10 mil long, about 1 centimeter. Is what you want to see. Now, if it's a really pathetic or weak spark, or it's quite short, maybe 3 or 4 mil, that usually tells you that you've got a weak spark issue, which means you've had some sort of component failure inside there that often will cause the bike to either run very poorly or not run at all. Obviously, if there's no spark, then you've definitely got a component failure there somewhere. Now, on the jog in particular, we're a little bit limited for earthed positions underneath the seat. So I'm just pulled it down. I'm going to just go off the exhaust stud bolt because that's definitely going to be earthed. So we're looking for a nice cracking spark. That's exactly what we're looking for. Now, on top of the actual visual spark, you should hear that nice sparking, cracking sound. Now, just to show you what it looks like when there definitely is no spark, there's very clearly nothing there. There's no visual spark and there's no cracking sound. So this is obviously disconnected to a completely disconnected coil just to show you. But if that's the situation, you've got no visual spark and no crackling sound even, you've definitely got some sort of component failure. All right, so that's you've done your diagnosis and you found that you've got no spark. Where do you go next? Well, there's two things that I would definitely recommend having a go at testing. They're both fairly cheap. And there's an additional one that maybe if you're willing to spend a little bit of money and have a go, that you should probably try out. But first up, the two cheap ones, these two here. So spark plug and spark plug cap. Now, from our experience over the years, these are the two most common component failures that will cause a loss of spark on a two-stroke 50cc scooter. Even some of the bigger ones as well, it'll often cause an issue. Now, both these items are quite cheap and very, very easy to replace. Put this one out. So these are one of the ones that we sell at the shop. This is a quality ceramic NGK spark plug cap. Now, we really only sell the two types, a two-stroke and a four-stroke. Now, these two-stroke ones will pretty much work for any two-stroke 50cc scooter, you know, more or less. Now, the only thing that sometimes may trip some people up, so spark plug in this Yamaha behind me is a BPR7HS from memory. Now, a lot of the replacement NGK spark plugs come with this two-type head. Now, what do I mean by that? With your two-stroke spark plugs, there's generally two types of clip head on them, what the part the actual spark plug clips onto. And you have this type here, which is like a, I guess like a clip head. And then you have the screw type head. Now, a lot of the NGK spark plugs, they have what this one has here, where they have a little screw adapter. So depending on the type of head that you need, has this little adapter here that screws on if you have the, whatever you would call this, like a button style tip, or you have the screw style tip. Now on the NGK two-stroke replacement spark plug caps that we sell at the shop, they use this screw type cap. I honestly prefer this kind of cap. To me, it seems a little bit more reliable, and when you push it in, you can actually hear it. You can hear it like click in, which tells you that it's definitely working. Now, whilst spark plugs can sometimes fail because they're sort of coked up with carbon, it's not been replaced in a while, or maybe your bike's running a little bit rich, what have you. There's a few reasons that can happen on two strokes. The spark plug can coke up. Usually the easiest solution to this, you can clean it sometimes, but just replacing it. Spark plugs are cheap. Chuck a new one in there, and that way you know for sure that the spark plug's not the issue. It's the cheapest item in the entire electrical system of the scooter. Now, second up, a very common failure is spark plug cap. Now, what a lot of the time happens, this sort of without zooming in and showing you, inside here, the little clip mechanism that actually clips to the plug, depending on which type it is, they have like a little a spring kind of in there, like a little spring slot within the slot that the tip goes into. Now, what often happens is the spring either breaks or fails and falls out, and you can get often intermittent spark because it's not actually grabbing tightly onto the tip of the spark plug anymore. So it'll kind of spark, and then every now and again it won't. In a bad failure, the cap, because there's nothing actually holding it on anymore, it'll just sort of keep slipping off. It'll often happen if you go over a bump. If you're finding that on your scooter, every time you go over a bump, it kind of sputters or loses spark for a second. That's often what the issue is. Very common on a lot of the Chinese scooters over the years, had this happen many times, but it can really happen to any scooter. Little spring mechanism in there fails, it's not being held affixed properly to the plug anymore, and you go over a little bump and yeah, you lose spark because the spark plug cap basically just falls off the spark plug. Now, these two components all up are less than $50. So it's a pretty cheap and easy replacement. In terms of actually replacing the spark plug cap, inside the box are these two additional rubber components. You got a cap for the end of it, just keeps the water out. And then you have this one here. Now, find the easiest way, either wet or put a little bit of lubricant on your high tension lead, your HT lead, and slide this along first. And then inside the cap there's basically just like a self-tapping screw. So to get your old one off, you literally just screw it off and it comes out. You'll see in the end of the HT lead, there's like a little hole. Basically all you need to do, assuming we've slid this one on first, which I'm not going to do right now, basically just line the self-tapping thread up and just screw it on. Easy as that. You keep screwing until it stops. There we go, done. So that's replaced now. Obviously you're going to put a little shroud on there to keep the water out, but that's done. Very, very easy to replace. And your spark plug, obviously most scooters have an actual spark plug socket tool in them if you don't have any tools at home. very easy to take out. Now between those two components, I would say they probably make up for at least 50 to 60% of the spark failures that we've seen in 2-stroke 50cc and even larger capacity and 4-stroke scooters over the years. They're kind of two of the sort of hardest wearing components, and they're sort of designed to be relatively disposable. Obviously your spark plug definitely, but even the spark plug cap, it's a relatively sort of cheap disposable part. So if it fails, it's not really a big deal. Now, the third component that I sort of said, if you're a bit brave, maybe you can have a go, and it does kind of depend a little bit on the scooter as well, and that would be the coil. So I actually have a coil just here. Now, this one here is the sort of coil that you'd see on a lot of Minarelli, some sort of Marini engines as well. Even a lot of the Honda style engines use this type of coil. There's a couple different versions of this coil that look very similar. There's this one here that just has the HT lead sort of output that goes to your spark plug and your spark plug cap, and then you have these two little tabs here, little electrical tabs, basically positive and negative. And one of the other types that's very common has sort of like a metallic component that comes off the side with a screw through it. And on those ones, that's generally the earth. Sometimes they have a little additional earth cable that comes up and bolts to it. Other times, you bolting it to the chassis is actually what earths the component. Those ones will usually only then have the one little positive tab. Some of them have the two. It depends on your model of scooter. We have a bunch of different types on the website, so you just sort of need to go through and work out which one's going to fit your scooter. I would highly recommend, as always, looking at the component on your scooter, even take a photo of it. That way when you're at your computer or in your phone, you can compare it to the one on our website, because even if it says this one fits a Yamaha jog, sometimes there might be 2 or 3 different types for one type of scooter. So really important that you check your factory components first. Now in terms of replacing these, they're also really simple and easy. Generally, this type of coil is also pretty inexpensive. It's going to cost you definitely under $100. A lot of the time even cheaper than that, depending on what brand, whether you go genuine or one of the aftermarket ones. There's not generally heaps of difference. You just go for the cheapest one. That's what I would do. It's up to you what you want to do. The other good thing with these is they usually come with a HT lead. So HT lead failures are quite uncommon. I don't know that I've seen a HT lead fail heaps of times over the years, but they come with one anyway. So in terms of process of elimination, it's just a good thing that they usually come with it. So you can sort of rule that out as well. Now, I mentioned it depends on the model of scooter. And what I mean by that, particularly with Piaggios, if you've had any experience working on a Piaggio 50cc 2-stroke, you'd probably know that on those particular engines, the Hyper 2 engine, the coil and the CDI is an all-in-one unit. And they tend to be quite a bit more expensive than just a coil, obviously, because they have a CDI built into them as well. Now, they are also really easy to replace. So it would be up to you whether you wanted to spend that money knowing that perhaps it's not the issue and that you're going to be stuck with a brand new component that actually hadn't failed on the original scooter in the first place. That's a decision that you're going to have to make. Now, failing all of that, you've replaced your spark plug, you've replaced your spark plug cap, and then you've done the coil, what have you, whether it's on a Piaggio, which means you've also replaced the CDI. It's actually one good part about that is it just eliminates one more component. Or a scooter that doesn't have the all-in-one unit, like basically everything other than a Piaggio, you've replaced your coil. You're kind of left with really only 2 components that could have failed. Now, one is the CDI on a non-Piaggio scooter. The other one is the stator. Now, the stator is significantly more difficult and requires some more tooling to be able to remove. You need a flywheel puller that's specific usually to that model of engine, and they're all sort of different. You can get generic flywheel pullers, but I honestly would not recommend using one because you can often strip threads and end up breaking things by using a generic tool. So I would usually recommend getting the specific one for your bike if you wanted to have a go. But you're also almost definitely going to need an impact driver, whether it's a rattle gun or an electric rattle gun that has a decent level of power in terms of Newton meters. You need something that's probably more than 200 or 300, especially if it's a factory sealed flywheel, because the stator is behind the flywheel. Getting that flywheel off, if it hasn't been taken off before, they can often be sort of kind of seized on from factory if they've been on there for a long time. So if that was something that you were going to have a go at, I would recommend definitely getting the correct flywheel puller for your scooter. And honestly, watch some videos. If you don't have experience doing something like that before, I probably wouldn't recommend having a go, but that's up to you. It's a decision that you're going to have to make. I would normally recommend for most people who haven't done lots of engine work on scooters, motorcycles, even cars before, at that point that you've eliminated everything other than the CDI and the stator, best thing to do is take it to a shop. A lot of shops will have either a factory, so we usually do a factory stator or a factory CDI there to diagnose with, because whilst you can do resistance like ohms testing with CDIs, coils, even stators, usually the fastest and easiest way to diagnose it is just put a new one in there and test it. Now, stator failures are relatively common, as are CDI failures with age. Obviously just not as common as some of the cheaper components, but if you've gotten to this point, you've ruled everything else out, so you know that you're in for it now. You're going to have to spend a couple $100 repairing it, but at least you had a go and you potentially saved yourself some money if it was one of the more common failures. Now, if you are brave enough to have a go with the stator yourself, we do actually sell most of the flywheel pulling tools on our website, as well as replacement stators. So it's relatively easy if you want to go ahead and do that. If you don't want to have a go, definitely take it into your local sort of trusted motorcycle or scooter repairer or dealer. Anyway, hopefully you got something useful out of that. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button. If you've got any questions for us, as always, go ahead and let us know in the comments. We endeavor to answer every single one. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the sub button, because we do a lot of videos like this, as well as a lot of more performance oriented, getting more power and speed out of your scooter style how-to videos as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.